What is up? It is your boy Mike here with another kind of break-in podcast for myself. First, I want to give a shout out to the world's largest manufacturer of custom motorcycles, Big Dog Motorcycles. They are responsible for picking up this microphone. I'm finishing up a documentary with them we've been working on intermittently over the last 7 years. Make sure to check out their channel. You'll see videos of me riding these big custom choppers all over the country and just having a good time. So their handle is on YouTube is at Big Dog Is Back, website bigdog.net. Also want to shout out to one of my biggest influences when it comes to health and fitness, John Peralta with Live Harder Wellness and The Experiment. Him and a friend are working on some really cool stuff. It's hard to explain everything here in a few words. I'm just going to throw the link either up here somewhere or down in the description. So they had these mics first. They sounded good. They looked cool. So I followed their suit and picked one up myself. So as I've gotten started, I actually shot 4 of these last weekend. And I was doing videos on, live videos and short posts and things over on Instagram. Somebody hacked my accounts recently, so I started doing it on YouTube. So, funny thing is, today when I recorded about 8 or 10 minute live video on my way to the gym, I got one of my friends hit me up, said I was trying to hear your video and I couldn't. I checked, there was no sound. I think my phone had connected to the Bluetooth in my vehicle. So, that's why I'm on here now, practicing this stuff. As time goes, there are going to be a lot more concise messages, cool things to show you. I'm going to be doing giveaways. There's some big parts of this vision, but step one, you gotta crawl before you can walk. And I've got so many skills that are exactly perfect for this as a career video producer of nearly 20 years. I kind of realized it was ridiculous that I'm just trying to help showcase and promote and do this cool stuff for other people, for their businesses, for their brand. And I'm sitting here with all the skills in the world, great stories to tell, amazing footage, ability to capture more. And I've just had to get over being in front of the camera instead of behind it. I can already tell now that I'm more comfortable this time than I was shooting those podcasts last week. I'll probably still post them, even there was, I would say, not from memory. I'm sure I said some great stuff, but it didn't, it wasn't something I wanted to showcase. At the same time, I've just got to get the stuff out there. A ways down the road, I'm going to look back and, just remember this. Oh, wow, that's where this started. And my goal with these podcasts is at this moment not to be something on their own that is my brand or determines where we're going, but helps bridge together all the different footage I capture, stories I'm going to be telling, and get some engagement with people. I think this is going to be some great stitches to bring some parts together. So I'm pretty open to allowing this to go where it goes. I'm going to keep moving forward and keep pursuing this vision that I've got, clarifying it, and doing awesome things. So I really don't know what direction that's going to end up going. I have learned enough in my life now to use what I have, and I've got a lot of knowledge and experience in video production. I'm great at telling stories, and I'm a good communicator. Now, I'm a little uncomfortable sitting here talking to a camera in a dark, empty room. But I think that's it. Like I said, it's already coming to me, and I'm excited to be moving forward with this. So, let's see. I actually made a couple notes this time. Let's see. I'm about halfway through that already, though. Yeah, I might have already said this. I started talking about it. I was doing live videos, driving to the gym and back fairly often. That has been more comfortable to me in the start. I'm paying attention to other things, and it seems like my ideas flow. Maybe I don't say things like as much. we'll see. And I want to keep doing that too. It's going to take a little while to figure out all the different formats. My interest is longer form videos. Well, I call them long form now. Anything over a few seconds is long form. Who knows, 5 minutes, 15 on YouTube. Back in the day, long form video was a whole different thing when I started in this career. But that's my interest, and it's a crazy thing for somebody who's worked in video production to, I'm just really embracing some of the new stuff. I don't even have a TikTok yet, all the weird security stuff. I'd rather not get one. We'll see how that goes. But, widescreen or landscape versus vertical or portrait. We used to make fun of each other as video producers early on if somebody would post a vertical video. One of my previous video production coworkers and mentors gave me a hard time about it, even though I was posting it vertically on purpose. It was just a weird thing for us to do at that time, and now that's common, especially for younger audiences. Something that is interesting and exciting is, I guess, TikTok is about ready to do widescreen and up to 10-minute videos. So we'll still see. Like I said, I don't know if I want to get into that space, but I know it's a great way to get out there, and it'd be nice to use an app instead of just paid advertising to boost some of the content that I'm really investing in and want people to share or see. I don't plan on putting any money behind this or any of these in the next handful, but I've got some really cool stories to tell with amazing DSLR cinematography, robotically gimbal stabilized action footage on motorcycles and snowboards and stuff. Boy, I start getting excited about that and I lose my train of thought here. So, okay, that's the type of stuff you'll probably see me boost and pay to advertise more. And then, I do hope to have kind of a theme with all of this stuff as well. So I'll just talk about the vision a little bit. I'll clarify this more later. Let's see. Now, how do I start? Where do I start? Do I go from we'll start from the beginning, front to the back. Okay, so I'm moving forward. I'm at an interesting moment in life right now. 40, college degree, under $3,000 in total debt, not much assets or equity, but a lot of freedom. I have systematically eliminated more and more of my material objects until I'm now in a one-bedroom apartment with a mostly empty closet, my video production equipment, and my computer, my vehicle, and then just clothes and toiletries, and one or two other meaningful items in life. And that's going to allow me to travel easily, as well as generate income, both with my business partners I'm working with here in my hometown, as well as when I'm on the road doing, projects for myself and still able to work on their stuff and keep that consistent income, because I don't expect what's happening in my vision to sustain me immediately. I think it would be amazing if it happens in 6 months, but my vision is more, I'm looking at, what can I do in 2-3 years? By then I've figured out, okay, now how do I take what I've got and build something really to the next level? So I think I can probably do a lot of really cool things a whole lot faster, especially the way I kind of I'm able to assess my situations and pivot with them a little bit. So, I think it'll go a lot faster. But I'm in it for the long haul, and actions speak louder than words. So, check back on your boy from time to time. If you don't see a new post in 2 or 3 days after this, I've probably shot another 1 or 2, and they're just being edited, or I've focused on a different social media channel, or I've also got some really big interests in life where I've got some big financial potential. So, maybe I had to focus some energy over there too. But part of this, doing these right at this moment, getting into the habit, I've turned my living room around backwards so I can have an interesting backdrop behind me. I'll have a new backdrop where everything belongs and get all my stuff back in the right place. Hopefully I'll be able to just walk over, flip a few switches, get out my note of inspiration that I have that day or at that moment, and then get on with life. I spent a couple hours setting things up. It's a lot harder to get dialed in when you don't have a person to sit in place and check your white balance, focus, exposure, and everything. Especially, I don't have a monitor right now, so I'm not going to throw away all my years of professional training and hit the auto settings buttons and see what turns out. So it's going to become a lot easier when I have a few more backdrops and have my setup here ready just to hop in, get my message out, and go. And I think that could be pretty beneficial, to me in a lot of ways. We'll throw the L bracket on. I'm not that interested in these little short sound bites that people throw behind all kinds of videos and fitness videos and inspiration and shots of the mountains and whatnot. Some people, they make their social media career just by thinking of something catchy, saying it in a mic, and then people put pictures and videos of mountains and babies and bench presses or whatever in front of it. But I might give some of that stuff a try too, just throw the L bracket on the DSLR, turn it sideways, flip the camera phone up the way people are used to seeing it, and, throw out a few of those tidbits. Problem is, I don't want to be a person that's sitting here preaching to others and telling them how they should see things or how they should be or how they should do things or how they should react. And that's a lot of what those sound bites are. I want to be somebody who gives some perspective. I want to be someone who inspires people. I want to be someone who is accountable to myself with this. I've made some dramatic improvements, a lot of dramatic improvements in my life over the last 13, 14 months. And, I think as I continue down that journey, I can share it with other people, give some inspiration, maybe give a little bit of my journey. Not saying it will totally apply to yours, but you'll probably relate to, some parts of this too. And at least I'm flowing smoother. I know I'm bouncing all over the place, but at least I'm flowing a little smoother here in the living room now. So okay. We're talking about the mission. So I've got almost nothing holding me back. And here's something else cool. One of the videos that I've been working on, I lived the last 7 years mostly in Summit County, Colorado, where Breckenridge and Keystone are. I was in Vail, Colorado for a little while. I spent 2 summers living out of a vehicle. There'll be a cool video about all this, but the second summer, I lived in a limousine in Breckenridge, Colorado. At that point, I was working in I was doing hospitality then, cannabis industry shortly thereafter, and a whole slew of cool and fun jobs before that. Downhill mountain bike coach. I worked on a division of ski patrol, bartender, managed the valet staff. Had a lot of fun. So I was all over the place there. And for 4 months of that total journey, I lived in a executive converted SUV limousine. So it wasn't stretched, but it has a partition. So, there's a TV that comes up and down between you and the driver. And in the back, it's like a really cool little living room chill spot. And with everything being weird in COVID, I went and lived in that. So cool video coming up on that. Something really interesting about that summer, where I was at, it wasn't like there was a truck stop around. Fitness centers had public showers closed. So, hey, I'm living out of my car. I just started bathing in the lake. I worked a nice hotel job. I'd come in looking good every day, There'd be people out there fishing, and I'm out there scrubbing under my arms, washing my hair in this 50 degree water, cold-ass water. And there was definitely times when I was ready to be done with that, but there's a whole lot of good that have come out of those 2 summer experiences living in vehicles. The previous one was a $500 van. And that video is live, so you could look that up on this channel. Take a look for that. Let's see. So, okay. I keep bouncing back to the mission. Love to travel. Done interesting things. I've still got the limo right now. Be lovingly called Burbo, the suburban limo, or Mr. Burbastic. And so I want to travel. I want to be debt-free. I'm really close to it, debt-free, have cash in the bank, start developing, not only having money to have some fun with, but I plan on buying land. That's a goal. I think that, currently my credit scores are in the mid 700s, and we're going to see some things change over the next several years with housing market and interest and all kinds of things. And I know that I'm at a point where if I make wise decisions and I live beneath my means and I save up, opportunities are going to present themselves within this next wealth cycle of 2, 3, 4, anywhere between the next, for now and the next 7 or 8 years. They're happening quick, they're volatile. I don't know what's going on, but I want to prepare to be ready. So I want to be debt free, be able to hop in my car and go somewhere and have that freedom to do whenever I want, and being unencumbered by obligations where I have to be somewhere somebody tells me at a certain time 5 days of a week. There's obviously I've got business partners, I've got different goals and things I'm working on, and sure, yeah, I set a meeting, I'm going to be there. And this is always going to be like that. I'm getting to a point where I'm early now. I don't want to ever miss appointments or be late or anything. But I just keep kind of bouncing off the mission and coming back. Okay. Freedom, debt-free, ability to travel, own land, have that paid off. I want to be able to build something on that. Sweat equity, cash for materials, work with a friend maybe who understands being the general contractor for the property. I've already got the house plans. I know where I want to go. So altogether, I think, in 5 to 10 years, and it could be a whole heck of a lot sooner, I'm not willing to push the envelope and keep doing more cool stuff and find things that succeed and go with it and throw money at it. I'm willing to keep living in a small apartment with almost no objects happily, even if I'm making good money, as long as I can put that money back into something that's building something bigger and better. And that's something I think I will also come back to quite a bit, is minimalism. I think I might have mentioned it shortly at the beginning of this. I've been really fortunate in my life to have grown up. I never wanted for anything. I was in, we were solid middle class family, upper middle class, and we had jet skis when we were little. Everybody had their own bedroom, or nobody was ever hungry. We never had troubles with keeping the lights on or heat or air conditioner. Family got along well. Parents are still happily married today. So, as with part of that, my brother and I weren't by any means spoiled compared to other kids around us in the community, but we did have way more than anybody needs, and my parents, all they did was love us. They wanted to see us be happy. They wanted us to have a better life than them, and they gave it to us in so many ways. And that also gave me a lifetime when I was younger of first world problems that I didn't understand. Sadness and depression I didn't understand because things were just too comfortable and too easy. And you'd try to figure out what life was about by wanting an object and trying to obtain it and then getting it. And I was fortunate enough to have a whole lot of the things that I wanted throughout my life. Even if I learned how to do chores or mow lawns to save up for it, I had a safe and comfortable house to go to sleep in. I didn't have to pay rent or anything. I was a kid, life was easy and good. Made it through high school, made it through college. And over time, I recognized that almost all objects that people in general desire, the things that I used to desire a lot, are nothing but wasted resources, or wasting time out of our lives to generate the revenue, the money, the currency to purchase a lot of objects that don't matter because it's something we think we want at that moment. And then you're not a more complete, more fulfilled, more happy person. And I think a couple of these summers living in a van and an SUV up in a beautiful place, having lived 7 years in one of the, just a top destination in the world. People would come all over the world to visit and hang out and ski, and Breckenridge and Vail and Keystone. And that just became my life. And it was not easy to live out there. The less you had, the better off you were. And over several years of moving and pursuing goals and dreams, I've eliminated more and more objects. And it really, I think this is something everybody should try to understand at least. Now, it's a lot easier as a single guy to not have stuff, or not, and I think it is pretty possible, prominent for a lot of grown-ups out there, and maybe some kids too, to not really desire all of these meaningless material things. Same with, material objects as my time. I don't want to put it into things that aren't productive or meaningful to me anymore. My objects, if I can't use them as tools to help express myself artistically or produce something, be productive in one way or another, it's very likely that it's not necessary in my life. I'll make a cool little video of this shortly. I do have one item in my life that, something I wanted for half my life, and I finally hit just a moment, a few $100, hit a moment where I was like, all right, I'm way ahead. Things are looking good. I'm going to go ahead and treat myself. So I got myself this cool hookah, and I've been looking for half my life, found the coolest one ever. And then I went and I got all kinds of neat parts and lights and built the thing up and everything. And, as I'm traveling, that's probably going to go in the parents' attic or in storage somewhere or something. But it's something that I wanted, and every once in a while I enjoy sitting down and puffing on the hookah and sharing a conversation with somebody, and it's a cool piece of, it looks cool. It's cool to have set up in the house, so, I've got that object. But for the most part, all my cool stuff is just video production gear, computer to edit with, stuff that I can be creative and artistic and productive with, and also use to generate a future, build a business with. And other than that, I have my toothbrush, too many clothes, just because I haven't gotten rid of a lot of them yet. But most of the mess that's in my closet happens to be two big, mostly empty bins with some random things that have kind of fallen in them. And so that's going to be one of my goals real soon, is just to go back through that, get more stuff to Goodwill, get the load a little bit lighter, so next time I'm ready to go take a trip or go on an adventure, I've got even less stuff to deal with. This futon, it was brand new, and sadly it got a little beat up moving over here. I got it for $50, and it's it's going to get given away or whatever when I move. I'm never going to move with a bunch of objects again if I don't have to. The only way that'll happen is like if I have an established family and we've got a house full of furniture, and but that's not where I'm at right now. Although that is definitely one of the long-term goals. I've never had interest in, I want to say interest. I've never been too driven towards kids. I feel like if they're supposed to come, it's going to be because the relationship's right and the timing's right. Otherwise, at this moment in life, I don't feel like I'm missing out by not having kids. It gives me the ability to keep building towards the things that I have not yet achieved and I want to. And I'm sure it's super amazing. I mean, rarely have I seen a parent that's like, oh man, I really wish I could actually trade these kids off for your life. I do have plenty of parents like, man, it must be kind of nice. It's sure different than a parent, but everybody, you love your kids. It's give people purpose. But I've never had that, like, man, I want to have kids drive. So, now I'm 13 and a half months into fitness and nutrition, 4 a.m. wake ups, even on the weekend. Today I didn't turn my alarm on. I was up at 4:30. By 5, I was doing dishes in the morning, getting the place nice and clean. I knew I was going to do some podcasts later, and I'd feel a lot better if there wasn't anything out of place. Everything I'm doing now, although I'm doing it, I'm definitely doing it for myself. Like, I'm not even interested in dating at the moment. I'm too busy continuing to improve on what I'm doing with myself and my vision here and my fitness. But I've also kind of realized, I can build up the most amazing, best version of myself physically, mentally, spiritually, financially, successfully, and I've got to put in the time and effort. And by building this person, I'm going to bring the right relationship to me. Over time, I will, why can't I think of the word right now? The goal is to build myself to somebody that I admire so much and I'm so proud of and I'm so excited about, in a humble way, but someone who I really feel good about, being really healthy, being really positive, being really successful. And that's going to bring me around somebody that's several steps above, somebody else who is healthy, is attractive, is successful, is driven, is positive. The better I can make myself through work and consistent development, the better relationship I'm going to bring to myself. And I know that when I'm ready to get back into the game again, it's going to be a different game. I'm not young, and I got married once. I was married for about 5 years, and if I do it again, I'm only doing it once more. I want to take the lessons I learned from the last one, take the much better version I've been creating and will continue to create after that didn't work out, and I've got gratitude for that marriage. I don't wish it didn't happen. I don't regret having been involved in it. I think it's helped me really get myself refocused on where I should be going. I used to be so goal driven. I'd have these crazy dreams and then I would make them happen, and it just worked and worked and worked, and then it started not working, and a couple things didn't work out really bad. And man, it took me a long time to recognize how much I'd lost belief in myself. I was just kind of coasting. I was living at the level that I felt like I deserved or where I belonged, and just barely paying your bills so you can snowboard every day sounds like a lot of fun for a while, but that's not what a grown man with a college degree should be doing for nearly a decade. It was time to grow out of it. Probably lasted a couple of years longer than it should have, but I don't regret that either. So, that marriage helped me get to the point I'm developing myself in now, and I also developed a lot during that time. I also saw a lot of things out of myself that weren't my optimum version of myself that I want to make sure I can develop beyond within myself and find a relationship where those things don't come out of me. That's kind of something I've thought about through all this. Camera just cut off. Sorry about that. Try to get my mind back on track. I guess, I was saying I don't regret any of my time that I spent off in the mountains or in a marriage that sadly didn't work out. I just want to embrace everything that I've learned from it. Oh, yeah. I need to find myself into a relationship where, I'm a good version of myself, and a relationship where the good version of myself and the good version of her work through things together, but the worst versions of us don't bring out the worst versions in each other. Because I do look back on challenges in my marriage and see myself not having acted in a manner I think anybody would expect me to, and I bet everybody who's been in a challenging relationship could reflect on that in one way or another. So, well, I've gone down a rabbit hole here, and I'm not trying to talk about that too much. Again, this is break-in time. Sunset while I was in here. I don't have a monitor. Hopefully, camera's still looking good. But, the first several of these, it's just going to be me breaking in. You'll hear redundant messages. I think I was a lot smoother this time than the last couple. I'll go ahead and drop those out too, just so they're out there. And the bottom note I've got here is something that I'm excited about evolving to. The weekends used to be what I looked forward to for partying, fun, gluttony, excuse me. They weren't productive, and then I had all these dreams and ideas, and I thought I was so great for one reason or another because I had this potential, but I wasn't doing anything. Well, I haven't quit drinking 100% yet, but it's Saturday. I'm not drinking tonight. Don't have any desire. Friday, haven't drank through the week. I don't do it much, and I really envision not doing it at all. I think it's just not productive in my life. But the weekends are time for me to be here working on this stuff, developing this vision that I've got, bringing it more clearly into focus, getting practice, having successes and failures. And, I think I worry that I might bother or offend friends or family that I don't want to go hang out with. But this is my time I'm focusing on building my future with. And, just like getting into the gym at 4:30 in the morning, waking up at 4, getting to the gym at 5:30 in the morning. It's something I have to stay dedicated to. Now, nobody else is fighting for my time at 4 or 5 in the morning, but my time is probably, it's one of my most valuable assets if I choose to make it be that. Oh, great. Microphone was turned all the way down. On that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up and see if I can salvage the sound here. If not, maybe we'll do this all over again. Thanks for checking in, guys. Subscribe. Check out some of my old videos. Check out The Experiment with John Peralta. And I'm sorry I've forgotten. I think Kat is her name. They're a team. I think they're a couple. I need to holler at my buddy, make sure. But they're doing a really cool beginning podcast. And the thing is, I know they've got a lot more awesome stuff because I know John in life, and he's inspired and helped, and he's inspired me. He's helped me grow and understand some cool things about fitness and wellness and, almost life. So check them out. Check out Big Dog Motorcycles. You'll see a lot of my cool footage over there. You'll see little bits and pieces of that over here too. But check out me and my old college buddy going to Daytona, going to Sturgis, getting up on stage with pyrotechnics, see some fun stuff over there. And, I just want to thank you for hanging around. I'm going to cross my fingers and hope there's some audio here and I don't have to throw this all out. And I think I'm going to take a break. Maybe, take a break. Who knows? Maybe even change the wardrobe and probably get back and do another one of these. So I'll catch you here in a bit.